e-gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Starladder I-League Star Series Season 3. Now we are going into what will be a qualification match. One of these teams is going through to the LAN, one of them will fall down into what will be a decider match, and well, they're going to want to go directly through, otherwise it will become a little bit more difficult afterwards. Of course, we do have Fnatic and Hellraisers on the other side of things, but today it is the French matchup. Now, joining me once again, as yesterday, will be Hugo Byron, and well, I'm going to throw you straight under the bus. Which way do you think this is going?
That's the hardest one ever, but I'm not going to sit on the fence today, Tom. I think there is a real upset potential. But that being said, I've got to go with G2, right? The overdog surely coming into this matchup. We've got the big names. Supposedly the French super team, yes. And while EnVyUs have been performing very, very well as of late, I've got to stick to my gut. I've got to go for the big dogs, the big boys here with G2. Are you on the same wavelength?
I've been really impressed with the way that Envy have been playing, but I am in a similar sort of stead at the moment. Obviously, for anybody wondering, we do have the maps on the screen at the moment. We are starting with Train, moving on to Nuke, and then we will finish on Inferno. And I'm looking forward to this matchup. It's not what we saw previously when they played about a month ago. It has been a while since they previously played, and well, to be honest, I genuinely don't know which way this is going to be going. I genuinely have no idea. I do want to go with G2. When I look at the sort of team, I see these players who I just have loved since I've sort of watching CS for so long. Like, you see Kedius, you see MBK, Shox, especially Shox. I'm a huge fan of Shox. But then on the other side, like, XMS coming into this tournament, at least for Starladder, has been very, very impressive. I remember, I think I was casted with Harry. He was 007 when he started the game, finished the game 23-13, just went absolutely ham. So yeah, that was just a ridiculous performance from him. So if he steps up again, who knows what will happen, and they did really show their colours in their previous matchup. Either way, we're into the pistol, we're underway, and well, only utility in the server is going to stand on screen.
Yep, P250 alongside that, and EnVyUs on the T side. So going to be an interesting one. We've got an interesting veto coming into this, but Train, as you can see, going to be kicking things off. As MBK, he gets a bit aggressive down towards the Ivy, looks for some information. We've got very passive play so far from the EnVyUs side, and a nice bit of damage there done onto Sixer. He's down to 2 HP. MBK going to be pushed. Happy does the damage, but MBK just taps away like it's nothing. Gets himself the first kill. Sixer's also dinked. So right now, G2 sitting pretty as EnVyUs. They've got to come back from a man disadvantage here. We'll be sending a few players down towards this B site, or at least one of them. The rest of them actually backing off towards these halls, potentially going for a late hit on A. And Screen does have that utility. He can throw that down in the connector, get that, so they can at least get the bomb down here on this T side, and that is so important. Well, the pistol usually grants you 3 free rounds. Even if they don't get it, the bomb plant is definitely going to help them out earlier on to go for that buy.
Yeah, playing very passively at the moment. T's just hoping that the CTs will make some sort of mistake. Obviously, they already have the man advantage. Every single player with Kevlar, they're just looking for those aim duels to come in. So they could just sit back now, wait for the T's to actually make their move. And it does look like we're about to split onto this A site. They've got a couple of players over towards Ivy. A body's going to get the first spot. He's going to get tagged down as well. A couple of low players now on the G2 side of things. And 25 seconds left. This is where the move has to come in for the T's. They need to get their running shoes on. And while RPK, he's the one with the bomb. Quick kills coming in for this CT side, shutting things down. It's only going to be RPK left. The body will be there to finish. Nice pistol from G2. Early aggression and shut down with the passive play.
Classic Shox there, 2 quick headshots, and as well, we saw them yesterday perform very well. Shox individually was really going off over on Covalent Overpass, which we had against Space Soldiers yesterday, knocking them out of the event, or the qualifier at least. So it's good to see Shox continuing his sheer skill. As we can see, the investment from EnVyUs not full across the board. Six is actually saving here. I'm interested by this decision. But, oh no, of course, for the AWP.
Yeah, he's for the
I looked at Envy, I was like, I don't know, why is Kenny not saving? Oh yeah, nope, I forgot. Kenny's on G2. Still going to catch me off guard to this day. But yeah, Deagles across the rest of the board. Couple of PT50s as well. And Six is just on that Glock, but we're probably not going to see too much here from the pistols. The only real way you can get pistols working on these kind of maps, like long-range maps like Cobble and Train, is going for these fast plays, like a split down towards the B site very quickly. Going for, you know, a pick play or a default over on the A site with just Deagles and PT50s. I'm not going to expect too much here from the T side. And G2, they've invested very heavily into this. A lot of rifles, only one SMG. They are playing things very safe.
The rifle's definitely there just for them to sit back onto the site, not really go for anything too aggressive. You can see Body's position over on the B site, just trying to make sure he can deny any bomb plants, but from far enough away that it won't matter. But towards Ivy, a little bit of a fake coming in from Happy. The lurk roll working at the moment as he takes down MBK. Now, you have to remember, they've invested heavily into this, so every person they lose, other than Shox, is actually going to be a rifle down for the team, so they really don't want to go too heavy on this one. Apex is going to be able to trade out Happy, but the rest of the team is still just building up. Again, they only have 30 seconds left on the clock, and they are going to switch things back over towards this A site. Now, an aggressive position from Shox could be enough to shut this down on its own. Already be doing a lot of damage. Scream is out. Another one for Shox, making loads of money for his team, while RPK will eventually finish him off. But 3 rifles kept alive, and a lot of money made for Shox.
Yep, clean stuff there, keeping enough players to at least start to build up this CT economy early on. We're going to see EnVyUs now with not too much to work with. I can't imagine more than a couple of pistols invested into this one. Six has still got the cash for the AWP and the upcoming buy round. And yeah, just a PT50 or 2. RPK and Happy going to be investing. The rest of them just going bare bones here. As we can see, once again, G2 actually going to fully save on MBK here. He's just gone for the body armor USP. A lot of teams don't like to do this, but up against a almost full eco here from EnVyUs, it's going to be a safe play. Save some cash. If one of his teammates are dropped by the PT50, he can grab their rifle and not have to waste $2,000 to $3,000 on his own this round. So very unlikely we're going to be seeing EnVyUs get more than a kill, if that, into this round. But let's see at least. XMS going to be tagged down a little bit towards the B side, looking for an opener, but Shox is going to peek out from heaven just to take him down. Kenny S on the other side of the map as well, doing damage. And one by one, we're going to just see EnVyUs thrown to the floor. MBK drops Happy, Shox follows up, and Six are now last man standing here for the T side. It's looking like a done deal.
Keep this clean, but actually, that's going to be a rifle down. As you said, it can be picked up by MBK, but Sixer is going to look to do a little bit of extra damage. And in fact, I don't know if they're going to be able to retrieve that rifle in time.
Ooh,
no, they won't. So that's actually going to be quite costly. Not anything too crazy that's like, oh my goodness, they've reset the economy for one rifle going down. But it's extra damage, and going into this round, we do straight away have the AWP onto both sides. Sixer facing off against Kenny S. It does seem like a little bit of a mismatch, but we'll see. Maybe this will be where Sixer becomes the star.
Yeah, you never know. He has been doing well, at least recently. Pro League, for example. So it'd be nice to see if he can continue. As we see EnVyUs set up outside of B. Quite a few players here looking like they just want to go for a fast play. And up against only Body solo on the site, this could be a good one. G2 yet to rotate anything back on as a Molotov does come down. Body just utilizing all of his utility to wait for maybe a potential rotation. I'm surprised G2 is still so committed to this A site, especially with the position of Kenny. He can just sit inside the connector, hold up or hold low, do his thing. They're still sticking Body, more so for the retake than anything in the setup. If you look at Body's position now towards the back of the oil rig, he's playing passive. He can potentially spot a player from there if they drop down onto B, get himself a kill, take the 5-on-4 advantage, and then they go for the retake, which actually favors G2 a lot. It gives Envy the bomb plant, which allows another buy, yes, but still not too much of a detriment because it's more likely they're going to pick up the round. And look at this, EnVyUs, they're crawling over this B site very, very early on. Body, he's realized this. Now the rotation is going to start to come in, but it's a 5-on-5 retake. This is fairly rare. Not so much on Train, though, but obviously retaking is going to be favoring the CTs on this B site. Statistically the most retakeable map, so let's see if GT can get back in.
Nice start from Kenny. Already going to be picking off one as they use their utility just to try and push them out of position. There will be a trade, but Kenny gets another through the edge. Scream goes down. Again, still, it's just going to be a trade as XMS has managed to find another. Kenny trying to do all the work alone. Gets himself a 3rd kill. Sixer on the edge of the smoke as MBK looks to spray, but the bomb is actually starting to tick quite heavily. They're going to have to get somebody onto it. The peak going to come out from Sixer, but it looks like Kenny's just going for it, and he will win the round for his team. 3 kills. Defuse in front of 2 players, and although they all go down, it's enough for G2 to get a 4th.
What just happened? How did EnVyUs let that happen with two players still alive, playing a crossfire as well? They have no need to play passive in that position because there's always going to be a trade available. And G2, they somehow pick it up. Great defuse and the double AWP in play. We saw this a lot yesterday on Overpass, especially. G2 going to be picking it up onto both Shox and Kenny. Both two players who are, well, obviously Kenny's great with the AWP, but Shox is also such a versatile player. He can pick that up without too much worry either. Six is still on his, obviously, bringing it in from the previous round, but still. G2 looking good here with a 4-0 lead. EnVyUs yet to get anything on the board, but this may be their time to strike. Still have a fairly decent buy coming into this round, and they're setting up towards Ivy early on. There's only Apex towards the back here. Kenny's close within proximity to rotate and join him, but EnVyUs are going to have a plethora of players here ready to push up if need be. Bomb playing far more passive, kind of holding the flank, but seems like EnVyUs finally wants to start to commit. The smoke will go down. Apex just on the other side of it, and Kenny still in that quick proximity place to rotate. They're actually not going to commit. They will just back off. No utility forced out of EnVyUs so far as well, which is quite good, at least from the CT side, holding onto it as much as possible. But these nades, these Molotovs, they should eventually force out this Molotov from Apex and just waste valuable seconds and utility for the G2 side.
Yeah, we are seeing a little bit of a switch up. Shock's going to end XMS early on, but the entry from Happy over towards Ivy will have to force a little bit of a change. MBK up close and personal, finds one and the bomb importantly. Trade will come in from Sixer, just about saving his teammate, and RPK actually going to get another one. This leaves it down to a 2 versus 3. A couple of low players, but another one is dropped. Kenny goes down to the AWP of Sixer, and it's all onto Body. 1 versus 2, the bomb yet to be planted, so he does have time. Happy very low on HP, and only 15 seconds left. They will have to make their move, but Happy peeks out, perfect timing, catches Body off, and Envy are on the board. And more importantly, the money has been severely hurt. Obviously, you lose every single player. You have to invest all your money to get back in, and now you look at G2 and they are struggling.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they kept all their players, as you said, from the round that they got that ninja, well, not ninja defuse, but smoke defuse, and this could have been a really good buy. But the issue is they've just got 2 rifles, or 2 rifles and a FAMAS. I won't even count the FAMAS. It's you know, like a budget UMP, or not even budget, more expensive. It doesn't make sense nowadays. But Body's going to be picking it up. We have a couple of pistols in play as well for the G2 side, and EnVyUs set up once again for this default. Ivy control is close to being taken, but there is one of the 3 rifles there in position. That's going to be on Apex. And again, the same setup for G2. Kenny in close proximity, but not quite the AWP in his hands this time. The Deagle's still dangerous. G2 just holding things back for the time being. And this is kind of one of those rounds you want to set up a double play. Maybe you go for a bit of aggression, catch off one player on EnVyUs and get yourself a gun to play with. Even if you get a 1-for-1 and you trade things out, a 4v4 is going to be better for G2 considering the lack of weaponry they have in this situation. So if they could grab an AK onto one of these pistol players, definitely an upgrade. And it doesn't seem like they want to do that, really. They've got a bit of pop dog control as MBK forces himself in there with the help of a flashbang from a teammate. But other than that, they're just playing relatively passive.
Yeah, I think the big thing as well is the T's are expecting them to go aggressive. You can see from their current setup, just playing passively, waiting for any sort of pushes to come in, but they just haven't. So a lot of it's come down to time now, and this is where some of these extra rifles, the pistols, really can become very dangerous for this CT side, because down to 35 seconds, they still have a smoke onto Body. He's going to throw that down, and that's going to waste, well, at least 15 to try and stop them pushing back in. So it's going to leave them very, very low on time to actually get back into the site. Now, he's the only one currently here, but you could already see the rotation about to come in from Kenny, but they will actually double back, go towards Pop Dog, try and challenge over towards this A site. Apex still there, 15 seconds left on the clock. They really do have to make their move, and he's going to peek out 5-1 and 2. Great work from Apex to give them the advantage. XMS will be caught while planting the bomb, and now it's all onto RPK. He's got 3 players to find. Now he knows there's a player by the bomb, but Kenny's going to peek out and finish him off as well. And, well, that round mainly just came down to timing. They ran out of time. They had to rush things, and G2, they're going to be straight back on the board.
That's the thing, though. EnVyUs knew exactly what the economical state of G2 was. They knew they had these pistols because they took down all 5 players in 2 rounds in a row, knowing they wouldn't be able to fully invest. And then they expected to go, that G2 would go for this aggressive play that I suggested earlier, go for these kind of pushes. And because they didn't, EnVyUs were holding a default for far too long, wasting the time, hoping for a pick to come their way. But after nothing was presented, they just start to crumble, right? They push the Pop Dog, they lose a 1-for-1 there, which is obviously going to favor the CTs. And then, you know, that's essentially almost a man advantage in this. So what you have on the side of G2. So EnVyUs running into the site with far too little time will be going to, I was about to say the French side, but that's not true. We'll be going to the CT side. As Apex, he opens up this round again. We have a bit of an investment from EnVyUs, but nothing really to play around with. They're going to be going for the buy in the upcoming one. 2K on the loss bonus should be coming in. And most of them have a bit of saved cash, aside from Scream, who's dangerously close, Tom, to becoming the new James Bond here for the server. He's 0 and 6. I was about to say,
the last 2 maps we've casted, we've had a 007.
Yeah.
Can we make it 3 in a row? And yes, we can. Scream is going to go down. It is. The curse continues. And, well, the last time on Train we saw somebody on Envy go 007, they ended up finishing top of the whole server and winning the map for their team. That was XMS. So we'll see if Scream can replicate that sort of form. And I think they're going to need him to, because at the moment they are not looking good. 6-1 down. Obviously, they are on the T side, so it isn't the end of the world at the moment. They could still get, say, 6-7 rounds, and it really wouldn't be that bad a half whatsoever. However, at this sort of point in time, the money's not looking good. They win one and lose one. They get reset back. And even in this round, they don't have a full buy. Scream is going to be left with just a Tech 9. Now, I say just a Tech 9. It's still a pretty powerful pistol, especially when you get close and personal. And the way they look to be heading over towards this B site. I was just waiting to see if Body would take someone down. But the way they're heading, it could actually be pretty effective, especially with the aggressive pushes and the chance to drop someone close.
I like that smoke from Buddy as well. He throws it just a little bit off so we can get a bit of a peek on it. It seems like a deep smoke gone wrong. And so Envy shouldn't expect anyone to push with it, but he actually goes to the fight. Doesn't land anything, unfortunately, but it's a nice little play to catch your enemies off guard. They don't expect you to play that close when messing up a smoke, but either way, EnVyUs outside of B, as you say, looking like they want to commit, and the setup is just perfect for this one. 3 players with MBK. He's going to be ready for this one. Body, he's going to be just holding the upper, and MBK, he takes down the first. Nice kill onto XMS. These players haven't even crossed towards the site yet. Where's the support though? Body, there we go, on the site. There's one. Goes in for more, lands a second, and now it's all on Shocks. We've also got Apex coming in from the flank, and if they don't get this bomb down, he could really deny someone here. He sneaks in from the heavens. Shocks is just waiting. He knows what's up. He has no need to peek because Apex, he's about to get all the job done. He pushes in from the heavens. There's the bomb. 6 is down. And now the flank coming out round the site. Happy's trying to wrap around, but he's just not going to be able to. Shocks is there. He has the support as well from Apex. And that will be all they need. 7-1 for G2. Brazil is truly in effect.
Yeah, great communication there as well from G2. They saw the aggression from Apex. A third player of MBK rotates into the site, ready and waiting to catch these players. They knew exactly where this push was going to be coming in way before Envy even got towards the site. They just took so much map control early into the round, and then towards the end, you could see Shocks hides. Kenny goes for a little bit of a peek and does get tagged, but then he just falls back, and they let Apex do his job. A lot of teams will overface in those sort of scenarios, and then you'll have Apex left in the back lines alone. G2, brilliant communication, and, well, Envy don't even get a bomb plant, so their money is left in tatters yet again. Pause called out. Definitely think that's necessary at the moment, as they are looking very flat. 2 players that, at least in recent history, we've been looking towards, XMS and Scream, currently with 1 kill between them. So it definitely looking a little bit worrying. 6 has not been doing bad when he's had the AWP in his hands, but that hasn't happened too often. And, well, RPK, he can have big games, but he can't do it alone. He needs someone to step up with him. So definitely need to sort of reset themselves here, get back into this game. And at the moment, that is what the pause is being called in for, just to talk through the strategy, maybe come up with something a little bit quicker, because they have been playing very slow thus far, waiting for some sort of aggression to come out. And to be fair to G2, the only aggression that I think we've really seen is actually just Body taking a little bit of a peek over towards upper B. The rest of it, they've only done it once they sort of realized, like in the last round, Apex had an inkling that it was B, so then he goes aggressive. Other than that, they've just waited, and Envy don't know what to do.
And the scary thing about this matchup as well is this is EnVyUs' map pick, right? We're here on Train, the one that they're supposed to be good at. G2 have only played 4 maps as this roster, and currently 2-2 in terms of their record. So we haven't got a lot to work with, and EnVyUs maybe picking this map expecting G2 to not be too prepared on it seems to be a wrong idea, clearly, as they are getting trounced. Now another pistol round, we're going to see an 8-1 coming in very, very likely, with only 2 Deagles and a P250 invested here for the T side. I'm not too hopeful. Back on the single AWP, Shocks isn't going to be picking it up alongside Kenny. On EnVyUs, this is very, very scary territory here, because while this is a CT-sided map, you're going to expect these Ts to have a bit of a struggle. This is EnVyUs' map pick. This is where they should be potentially picking this up and bringing this to the 3rd map.
Obviously, map number 2 is actually going to be heading on to Nuke as well. And that's a map where, well, it's pretty one way. Either you're good at it or you're not. It's very, very difficult to play otherwise. So we'll see whether or not they are prepped for that. But that's a long way away. It's only 7-1. Definitely not done and dusted just yet. They are going to have to go for a pretty basic buy in this round. Not really investing too much. They will get 2,900 into the next round. By the looks of it, once again, we're about to see that split. Although it seems like they may have just shown themselves, and now they're heading back over towards B. So, trying to fake out the remaining side. Body has been so good at holding onto his nades, it has to be said. The second he hears something late in the round, he just throws it down, wastes their time, allows for any rotations to come in if they find it necessary. But at the moment, he's got support from Shox holding upper. There's only pistols in play. This should be relatively easy, but should is the word to use.
Yep, Shock's going to spot them, but Body on top of the white train just going to be spraying away. There's 2, there's 3 anti-eco frags for days. Shock's going to support, and the lone player Happy doing his thing towards the A site is going to go down as well. It's unsuccessful here from Envy, and G2 don't even lose a player despite Body being extremely tagged up in that round. 8-1 comes in. We go back into the buy here for the EnVyUs side. They should have all the AKs they need, but the AWP is going to be lacked. C6 could only go for that glass cannon. Very, very risky as well. So, going to be sticking with the AK-47. Rest of them going to be on the full utility as well. So, nothing to really worry about here for EnVyUs in terms of their buy. They just need to make it work. They need to get these rounds on the board, and they need to do it soon. Kenny's going to go for an aggressive peek towards upper, and this may yield him something, but no one's going to be quite aggressively peeking. They know the potential here, but he hasn't played towards his position, so it's going to be a bit unexpected. RPK, lots of damage, and he gets away scot-free.
He hasn't peeked it yet, but Body's made a similar sort of play. The jump over in an attempt to catch out Shox, who's currently playing over towards Ivy. They have actually been switching up a few positions. Like we've seen Apex over there a couple of times, and well, now Shox is playing there. Obviously, rotations from Kenny S will always switch up the sort of style that's being played, and Body has been the anchor over towards this B site. But this time, once again, they're going to attempt to try and take Ivy control. This does look like they're setting up once more for an A split. But it's quite heavy Ivy. There's 3 players currently around that area. Aggressive positions from Apex. Down the right side of the train. Bob. Now they look to clear out Ivy. Shox is going to be waiting. Got himself a flashbang ready to try and do a little bit of extra damage. Obviously, Kenny on the site is homed in on that position. But he is low, so they may be able to isolate him relatively quickly. MBK is going to start over towards Pop Dog, though. The split already being torn apart. Shox will be able to catch one out, but he goes down. Actually, Sixer stepping up big in this round. Got himself a couple of kills. Scream's going to go down. It's all going to be on to Sixer in a 1 versus 2. He's only got 20 seconds to play with. Kenny low on HP. Doesn't have the bomb as well, so he really does have to make his move very, very quickly. Trying to make his way back into Connector. He needs to take down this one player here. Body is just going to be left to turn around and take him down. And that will be another round on the board for G2. Sixer trying his best. But again, it's that Ivy play, and it does get shut down pretty easily.
Scream's finally on the board, though. He found himself his first kill in that round. Unfortunately, not going to be able to convert it into a win, but still, he gets away with one. But I love the way that Kenny plays that, just wrapping around the bomb site when he knows that he's being pushed from behind. Obviously, allowing his teammate to get the damage off from Connector. And the thing is, EnVyUs, right? They're leaving these rounds too slow. They're attacking in the last 15-20 seconds. You can just see every single one of these rounds comes into 1-on-2s where they have no time. That would work if they have maybe 40 seconds. But anyway, back into a new round. Kenny S and MBK just going to open things up as per usual. EnVyUs just walking into the blender. MBK is going to follow up with another one. Kenny looking for more, and he does take down Sixer. So there's just Happy left. He's at the bomb site a little bit later. Coming in from behind, only a Galil to play with, and they are going to be cornering on his position. Apex peeking out, and that should be it. Done and dusted. G2 have got themselves 10 rounds on the board, and EnVyUs still, they do switch up the pace. They go for a fast play, which is what I wanted, but maybe a bit too fast, because it doesn't work out.
I don't know what to say in that sort of situation.
There's nothing they can do. Slow, they get killed. Fast, they get killed. What can you do? Maybe go for a default and hit halfway through the round, not in the last 20 seconds.
Or just a sort of smoke setup to try and get that bomb down over towards the A site. Just isolate it, the wall of smokes, and then get it down and fall back. The after plants on the A site are normally very effective. We haven't seen anything of the sort. A lot of their controls attempted to come in over towards Ivy. This time, pistols once again, and Kenny, he's got himself a firing range. 2 kills picked up for him early on. Scream is actually sneaking around, but they're playing very far back. They've realized that the pistols are in play once again, so they're just going to sit back towards the site. Nice shot from Scream. We'll get one with the Deagle. Maybe this could be the difference. Happy actually pushing back in. May try and find Apex. And he will. Doing quite a bit of damage, actually doing more in this round than we've seen in both the previous. Body will eventually take down one more. Scream still standing on the site, and Happy has managed to pick up a rifle. Shocks looking to sneak around with the AWP, and now he's just going to be charged by Happy, but denied. Not going to come in, and now Scream just looking to try and find something here. Gets another. Actually finding more kills than he has in any other round, but not going to be enough. 11-1, G2 still dominating.
I mean, just to pick up on the Happy plays that we've been seeing so far, we talked about this a little bit yesterday when we were casting G2 play as well. Oh, no, it wasn't with you. Don't worry, I talked about this on Pro League. No, I'm wrong. The thing is with Happy, right, is while he does get criticized a lot, he gets his flag. The thing about his style of play is it works very well when his team are getting the entries. He's always...
Yeah, that was what we casted Godson.
Oh, okay, and clear up and do the work at the end of the round, get rid of the rotations and do all that. But when your team are getting destroyed and no one's getting entries, he still gets the same flack, and it's like, well, no one's doing well. If no one's going to get the entries, Happy can't do his role, and his role is to catch rotations, clear off back players towards the edge of the sites, and not exactly be the entry player. So that's the thing. If his team aren't doing well, Happy doesn't do well. So yeah, that's just to shed some light on it. But this round, that's just unfortunate, right? Apex peeking on top of the smoke takes down Scream.
Yeah, he hears the jump, and he's just able to go for the pick. Lovely shot from Shocks to end Sixer with the AWP. And this is just style points at the moment coming out from G2. They're so confident, just going to go for aggressive peaks. Another kill will come in for Apex. Happy just stuck behind a smoke, left alone, the last man alive for probably maybe the 4th time in this game. 1v5 once again. He'll be able to get the first. Bomb plant would be valuable for his team at this moment in time. They do have the max loss, but they do actually have a little bit of extra, but he is taking a couple with him. Again, this may just be style points. If he can get another one, then things might get a little bit interesting. But no, Apex going to be their 3rd kill of the round for him. 12-1 for G2. And people were questioning which the super team is. I wonder if they still are.
Yeah, a lot of people were kind of undecided, right? Because these teams haven't played a lot recently. We saw, I think, a Pro League match a couple of days after they were created, and we saw Scream go crazy, destroy G2.
IEM qualifiers, and then they had the Pro League matches.
Pro League and IEM qualifiers are the only times these two teams have played, and G2... well, it's a 50-50, right? They won the IEM games and they lost the Pro League games. So we haven't really got a lot to work with. And this, I think, is the proper decider, right? Because we see both these teams are far more developed. They've had time to practice. They've had time to work it out. But the thing is, the fact the map pool's so weird for this series, there we go, got there in the end, makes me question whether this can really be taken into account, because we're seeing Train, a really weird map pick from EnVyUs. I mean, not exactly one of the maps they've ever been famously good at, and G2 barely played it either, but they seem to suddenly be stars on this map. And then Nuke to follow up. I mean, it's just a weird one, right? We obviously Mirage is banned because we don't see G2 play Mirage. They haven't ever played Mirage as this roster. So, you know, there's some things that you would expect, but seeing a Train Nuke
well, I was expecting to see Cash or something along those lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that was a map I was... Maybe a Cobble in there, because G2 played it very well yesterday. It's not the map pool I expected. Obviously, from EnVyUs' point of view, they did play Godsent on Train just the other day and did very, very well. XMS had a stunning performance, and RPK was on point as well. But it has to be said that Godsent and G2 are different calibers. If you look at all the players in the team, you're not going to be going, okay, let's match up G2 and Godsent and say who's going to win. You'd obviously be going for G2, just even looking at the individuals. So it does look like maybe they played it off of that, thought that this was a map they could take, but clearly things have not worked. Either way, they're still got to play their CT side, but they're going to want to at least get the last couple of rounds if they're even going to have a chance of challenging this one. Otherwise, well, if they were to bring it back, it would have to be a massive mistake coming out of G2.
XMS, though, quick out onto the site, looking for the opener. MBK is going to be tagged down very early on, but XMS not able to find the kill, and that is crucial. The rest of his team as well, hitting in towards B, and for the rotations from G2, they fully fall back towards the A site. Only Body remains over towards B, and he has dropped the first one, a Scream. He tries to jump in through the smoke. XMS finally gets that opening kill over towards the A site, and still Body is alone, but Kenny drops a second one. They should know this is a B play, surely, but Body, he's going to completely clear out the B halls. He's right behind. EnVyUs have dropped back down into the A site, and Kenny, He hits another leg shot. He's on fire. Shocks as well. The two warpers combining, and the firing squad is back in play. It's G2's round once again, 13-1. And EnVyUs, they really aren't getting lucky today.
But that was almost, I would have called that a BM play from Body, to run through your own smoke to see if they're still up there. That's just ridiculous levels of confidence coming into G2 at this point in time. I think they're already taking this as a win, and it's not going to get any easier as now XMS is getting damaged by his own teammates, down to 70 HP. Aggressive push once again from Sixer, attempting to take some early control, attempting to switch things up because nothing is working at this point in time. And Kenny, he's going to be pushing through. Aggressive stuff. He turns away, though. The flashbang will still catch Sixer, but it doesn't matter. He gets the first frag. Happy quickly traded. Nice shot from Scream. Nice double tap from Scream. Finally, he comes alive, but it's in the last round of the half. Body now, 1 versus 4. Obviously going to be going for this. It's last round, and even if it wasn't, look at the amount of cash. This is just left at the end of the half for G2. It really does show how dominant they have been. It hasn't been close in the majority of the rounds. But he's going to be trying to push back in. This would be the ultimate win if he could actually take this round. I'm not believing it, even the way that they performed so far. And RPK will finally get their second on the board after a ridiculous string of 9 rounds for G2. They're going to take the first half 13-2. Doesn't need to be said that they have to win the pistol, because they pretty much have to win everything from here on out to take this map.
Yep, no room for error, and that is very difficult on the CT side. But obviously, they do now move on to the favoured side. So there's potential, but there's not a lot of hope. I will go with that. G2, they pick up the pistol, they're going to win GG before EnVyUs even get onto a bye round. So that is unfortunate. If you can pick up 3 rounds, you have a 1-round buffer, but EnVyUs not even able to get away with that. So let's have a look.
What is going on?
This is just going so well for the EnVyUs guys. Like, they can't even jump into connector.
And that allows Shocks to cross.
Yeah, and look at him. He's pushed all the way up towards Olaf, and I don't think they even know this one. They might have a guess, but they haven't seen him cross because they were too late into the site. Scream, gonna peek round though, does take the kill. Body will return fire as he comes out of the hot dog there, but MBK dropped as his deagle finds nothing. It's all onto Body now. Needs to find himself something massive, and he does get another kill into XMS, but there's still 2 more players on the site. He's getting pounded by RPK, and he will go down. EnVyUs, they actually pick up the pistol round after a bit of an issue at the beginning. Yeah, comedic start. We'll go with that one. Trying to jump up into connector, but still, it is 3 rounds, so they are on the road for the comeback.
Yeah, a long, long road, but they've at least got the car started. They're going to have the buyback up from the T side. Tech 9s galore, 1 P250 onto MBK. No head armor on anybody except for Body. On the other side of things, relatively risky buy considering the circumstances for Emily. They want to build up that cash. They've got 4 SMGs, 6 with what I would call the fashion statement rifle. It may look nice, it may be called a rifle, but it's not particularly good at this moment in time. There are SMGs that are better. We are going to have a smoke setup coming in for the Ts. Obviously, even getting the bomb down, taking a few players with them would be a nice start into this round. It looks like they're just about to explode onto this A side, making quite a bit of noise over towards Pop to try and bait them into submission. But now Apex is going. He's going to spot out one. Takes the first. Scream has already found Body in the meantime. But they are going to be able to get onto this site, looking to get the bomb down. Scream adding another. Shock's actually being able to trade one back, and they are still doing quite a bit of damage in this circumstance. You know these Tech 9s can pick up kills. That's another for Kenny as well. Back to a 2 versus 2.
Yeah, bomb needs to be planted though. They still have plenty of time, so no real rush, but if they can get that down, it really put EnVyUs against the time. No kit is on their hands, and maybe one dropped, but still, look at the rotation from G2, it's perfect. Scream, he has a bit of a guess, but he's not fully committed as he moves back in towards the connector. He should just miss the cross as well as they come out of the heavens. He might just spot someone falling onto the site, and I think he just saw Kenny there. As you can see, Shocks is also positioned towards the ramp. They actually don't know. Scream, gonna hear the bomb plant, though. They'll finally rotate back on in. They know Kenny's alone on the site. They don't know where Shocks is exactly, though, and he is going to be the perfect position to at least help his teammate out when the fight does come down, as Kenny, he's pushed up a little bit. Scream still flanking around. He spots the leg. Shocks spamming away. That's good damage, but he hasn't taken the kill. Kenny, he needs to now get one. Happy will just walk on right through, not checking the corner, and Shocks, he follows up. G2, they both pick up the round, 14-3. And Tech 9 force buy on EnVyUs is 1 chance to come back into the map. Smells like French CS.
I just want to point out the difference in the second round buys. When we saw G2 buy, they buy 3 rifles, I think it was, what was it even 4? No, yeah, 3 M4s, a FAMAS, and a UMP. We see 4 SMGs and a FAMAS for EnVy. Just such a risky buy to come in when you're in... Like, when G2 did it, they were 1-0 up. Not 13-3 down. And, well, it's just left them with next to nothing to play with once again. It's the pistols. They're up against 2 rifles, 2 SMGs, and a tech. And, oh, they are 2 rounds away from losing this game.
Yep. Very, very likely indeed. It's so unfortunate. They had a chance, Tom. They had a chance for a comeback and they got ecoed. Couldn't even pick up the momentum. They couldn't even get that open play on Sixer. G2 just still playing this very respectfully. They're holding back. They're waiting for the aggression. They don't want to throw away this game. Of course, it is possible despite the scoreline looking so dangerously close to being toppled. G2, they're going to be making their way up towards Ivy, but we have this crossfire in play. Both Happy and Six are going to be ready for this one. Apex flashing them through. They're going to go for it. Six is close right because he will get a quick D, but Kenny does trade. Pushing in from the smoke, should be behind, and there we go. Apex going to take him down. Happy's down, and now only 3 remain here, but that's on either side. MBK drops another, takes 2, and RPK, he's going to try and come into the connection to get something done. He finds one. Good damage as well. Shocks his tag. This is doable here. He needs to land his shots, though, as the players back off towards the electrical box. He gets in a different position. Moves around the edge of the smoke. Both these players cornered. If only he had a nade, but they're both 20 HP or lower. RPK spamming away. He gets one, but Shocks will fall. Sorry, Shocks doesn't fall. Shocks will return fire. And G2, 15-3. That was so close.
Yeah, the tank tries his best. Can't quite manage to finish off Shocks. Currently 22-6. Kenny 18-7, and Kenny was actually pretty quiet yesterday in the matchup that they won versus Space Soldiers, so the fact that he's now on point as well makes things even more scary. MBK currently bottom of the board, but it doesn't seem to matter. Now we're going to see aggression. RPK once again will be able to get 1, but it is in trade for 2 as he and Happy go down early on. Man advantage for G2 in what could be the last round of the game. We're going to have to see some magic come out. XMS has not had the performance we were hoping for to see this matchup go to a close scenario. He's definitely going to need to switch things up into the next map. He has been probably their best performer, at least in the I-League so far. Especially in the last 2 best of 3s that they played. He was absolutely phenomenal. To see him playing like this is definitely unfortunate for his team. We are going to see a little bit of an aggression from him. Waiting over towards A main, and he could actually catch out Apex, who is going to be pushing around the corner. Damage done. Apex doesn't want to give this rifle over to his French counterpart. He's going to be pushing in. Shocks in the meantime has found 1 while this battle is going on, so they already know where one of the CTs is. XMS will get the kill. Rotation as well coming in from Scream will even give him a secondary rifle, so maybe there is a small bit of hope here for EnVy.
XMS though, going to be removed of said hope as he gets sprayed in through the smoke. Body might be able to catch him as well as he works his way up towards Olaf, although Body, he turns back around. Body's XMS. Scream now, he's got to pull off some dirty 1-taps here. He pulls back into the site. He needs to check up, and he does, but Shocks doesn't care. Just takes a headshot there through the wall, and that will be it. G2, they pick up the round and the map as well. 16-3. They close it out with a very, very dominant scoreline. And French super team indeed, Tom. I think we can agree after that first map. But let's see. It's not over. EnVyUs aren't out yet. We've got another map for sure, and maybe even 2 if EnVy can resurge and find their way back into the series. But that is going to be done over on Nuke. The map pick of G2, a dangerous one here for EnVyUs. But let's see in just a few minutes, Tom.
Yeah, of course. If you have enjoyed the cast, don't forget you can type !casters in chat. Every follow is appreciated, and you can also leave us some of your thoughts on the game. Do you think EnVy can come back from this? Let us know. Maybe we'll even read some of them out at the beginning of the game. Of course, if you've missed any of the games previously as well, you can check them out on the YouTube channel, which will be in the description, just under what you are currently watching. Either way, we'll be back in a moment. And we'll be back with map 2, which is actually going to be Nuke.